Off and running, Scott Brown set to make a big announcement about his political future.
The driver of a Green Line trolley punished for this crash, and why he's being faulted for the wreck that injured nearly 12 people.
A big sponsor pulling out a Boston St. Patrick's Day parade. The bad buzz that has Sam Adams withdrawing from the event.
And a bus driver passes out behind the wheel. How passengers help the man and stop the bus.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
Breaking news tonight, just minutes ago, Scott Brown announced he's launching a new campaign.
I'm going to stop complaining and get involved again. So I'm announcing today that I formed an exploratory committee to prepare a campaign for the United States Senate in New Hampshire.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Paula Evans.
And I'm Jack Williams in for Jonathan tonight. Well, Brown made that announcement at the GOP conference in Nashua moments ago. We have live team coverage tonight. WBZ political analyst John Keller is with us here in the studio. But let's start tonight with New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield. He's live in Nashua. Michael.
Well, Jack, this is something people here in New Hampshire have been buzzing about for months, ever since Scott Brown picked up stakes and moved from Massachusetts to the Granite State, where he has had a summer home for a very long time. The guessing game began a long time ago. Would he or wouldn't he jump in the race for U.S. Senate and challenge Senator Jeanne Shaheen here in New Hampshire later this year? Well, just a few moments ago, here at this hotel in Nashua at a Republican leadership conference, he made the announcement saying he would put together an exploratory committee to run for Senate here in New Hampshire. In his speech, he talked about his strong ties to this state, how much he has traveled the state and the country rooting for Republican candidates and helping them get elected. He also talked about how Democrats who voted for Obamacare need to go.
Has to be a time and place. Ask yourselves, there has to be a time and place right now in this moment in time that we have to act as Americans first. We have to find a way to find that common thread to battle in the next election cycle and beyond, to show the American people who we are as leaders and convey that message in a strong and powerful way. That's what I've been saying to fellow citizens around this state and around our great country.
So the former senator from Massachusetts says starting tomorrow, he and his wife will start traveling the state of New Hampshire, getting out there and meeting voters. He really has until mid-June to officially get in the race, but those in the know up here say there's a practical deadline here, and he really needs to get in sooner rather than later to start meeting the voters, connecting with voters, and starting to raise some serious money, because if he does get in, this race becomes one of national prominence and something that a lot of people will be paying attention to. If he does officially get in the race, he'll have to get through the primary, and if he wins, he would face off against Jeanne Shaheen later this year. And people up here say that would be an uphill battle, a tough fight, because she is known as an election machine here in the Granite State. We're live in Nashua, New Hampshire. Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
Michael, thank you. So entering the race is one thing, winning it quite another. Our political analyst John Keller is joining us with the challenges Brown faces Michael alluded to. And John, you say this all depends on which Scott Brown shows up.
I really do think so, Paul and Jack. The guy is putting his money where his mouth is. Supposedly is giving up a contract well in the six figures from Fox News to do this. We know what a skilled one-on-one campaigner Scott Brown can be, and that'll serve him well in New Hampshire. But in 2012, we also saw Brown lose badly to a candidate, an accomplished woman with formidable political skills of her own, not unlike Jeanne Shaheen.
The United States Senator from Massachusetts, Scott Brown.
Which Scott Brown will New Hampshire voters see? The appealing family man with a pickup truckload of outsider credibility? Or the harried incumbent who dug himself a hole going negative on Elizabeth Warren?
Professor Warren claimed that she was a Native American, a person of color. And as you can see, she's not.
Jeanne Shaheen's winning everywhere. She's winning in every county.
Suffolk University's David Paleologos has Shaheen beating Brown by 13 points in his most recent poll, which found him facing a 20-point deficit among the same group of voters who swung the 2012 race to Warren, women.
As the senator from Massachusetts, Scott Brown made lots of friends in Washington, lobbyists and big oil.
Part of the reason reason? A spate of negative ads aired on local TV by an environmental group.
It's the lie of the year.
You can keep your insurance if you like it.
And Senator Shaheen kept telling it.
But a conservative group has already countered with this attack ad on Shaheen's perceived weak point, her support for federal health care reforms that are widely unpopular in New Hampshire. Still, Shaheen has a not-so-secret weapon.
A wild card here is Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton, who beat Barack Obama in a surprise win in 2008, polls very well, and she could be the difference.
Now, Paleologos points out another early edge for Shaheen. She faces no primary competition, while Brown may have to fend off several challengers from a GOP right wing that's had its complaints about him in the past. You know, Jack and Paula, some of them have called him a rhino because he's too liberal or too moderate in some ways for them, but we'll see if he's well suited to the electorate in New Hampshire.
But as he pointed out today, he was born in New Hampshire. He had a lot of time in New Hampshire with his grandparents.
A lot of family roots up there, and it certainly is more favorable terrain for a Republican, no doubt about it.
John, thank you so much. Also, some breaking news happening tonight. Sources tell WBZ the MBTA has now fired that Green Line conductor at the controls during Monday's crash that injured 10 people. An investigation found the driver, Sidley Gardner, was speeding, not paying attention to the signals on the track, while the trolley hit a tunnel wall, causing $1 million in damage total. Coming up at 6 o'clock, a new push to hold all MBTA drivers to higher standards. And this just in, federal prosecutors now calling it nonsense. They say a defense request to dismiss some charges against Johar Tsarnaev is without merit. Tsarnaev's defense team says some of the charges are redundant. Well, late this afternoon, prosecutors filed a 25-page response saying the number of charges in the indictment reflects the number of crimes Tsarnaev committed, nothing more. The evidence will show that Tsarnaev committed deadly crimes of mass destruction, deadly crimes of terrorism, deadly crimes of bombing, and multiple acts of murder. Tsarnaev faces 30 charges in connection with the Boston Marathon bombing. Judge George O'Toole has set a hearing for April the 16th on that request. Well, after frigid temperatures overnight, hey, we got a little reprieve.
This is going to be nice 40s, maybe even 50 degrees tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is live at the Boston Flower and Garden Show, which is at the Seaport Convention Center, and you're standing right there in the middle of spring, Eric.
This is the type of kind of a report, Paula, where you need smell-o-vision. I wish I could bring what it smells like within this building through the TV to you at home right now. A lot of folks looking for some warmer times. We found them indoors, at least. It looks a little bit more like spring. Let's take a look at how it actually feels outside. And, you know, walking around today, a lot of folks are saying it feels great outside. Even though it's well below average, it's 38 in Boston. We'll take it compared to yesterday. 33 in Worcester. Hartford just shy of 40, and Chatham checking in just a degree above the freezing mark for this evening. And these temperatures actually not going to move much at all as we head through the overnight. In fact, most towns stay in the 30s. The clouds will thicken up, and we'll see some showers arriving before the sun comes up tomorrow morning. Overall, a fairly peaceful night, and what you see right now is essentially what you get if you're heading out for dinner or walking around the city. Now, for tomorrow morning, if you have early day plans, it will be rather gray. There are going to be some rain showers that move across. It's not going to be a deluge. They won't last for too long, but we will have to dodge some of that rainfall if we're heading out for an early morning run. By the time we get toward lunch, a lot of this is going to start to clear the area. Look at the temps, 40s, and even some low 50s by the afternoon. Maybe a few stray sprinkles in the afternoon, especially for some of the higher elevations. That's Saturday. After that, well, we got some changes ahead. So these scenes of spring that are inside here, they may have to wait a little while longer. We'll talk about more what you can find here at the flower show coming up, and look at a chance for snow for St. Patrick's Day in just a little bit. Paula?
We appreciate it. Eric, thanks. We'll see you in a few. Right now, Boston police are investigating the death of a West Roxbury man. Officers found him in his home on Perham Street this morning after a request for a well-being check. If you should have any information about this case, you're asked to call Boston Police. Tonight, a big sponsor is pulling out of South Boston's St. Patrick's Day Parade. Less than 48 hours before the event, Sam Adams announced it will not participate, citing the exclusion of openly gay groups marching in the parade. Jim Smith has the details.
The St. Patrick's Day Parade is now a day and a half away. Negotiations over whether gay veterans can march are at a standstill, and now the mayor isn't the only one not taking part. After nearly 10 years of involvement, Sam Adams will now pull its sponsorship.
I'm very pleased that Sam Adams did the right thing.
It's welcome news for the owner of Club Cafe, a Boston night spot catering to the LGBT community. The cafe had threatened to stop selling Sam Adams.
When Sam Adams, stepped up as a sponsor of the parade, we felt like that was a slap in the face to the lesbian and gay community. And we needed to make a statement. They were not returning phone calls, so we decided just to pull the product. They did the right thing. They backed off their sponsorship from the parade. I think it was a very big thing on their part.
In a statement, Boston Beer Company said, "We were hopeful that both sides of this issue would be able to come to an agreement that would allow everyone, regardless of orientation, to be able to participate in the parade. But given the current status of the negotiations, we realize this may not be possible." Despite everything that's already been said, you get the feeling that somehow this story might not be over just yet. As recently as yesterday, Mayor Marty Walsh was openly hoping for some sort of compromise.
Both sides agree. We pretty much have an agreement in principle, but now I think it's a little bit of stubbornness and a little bit of outside influences on both sides that needs to take a step back and let us come up with an understanding here.
If no agreement is reached, the parade will go on. Mayor and a longtime sponsor. In South Boston, Jim Smith, WBZ News.
Our sister radio stations, Mix 104.1 and 103 AMP Radio, have also decided not to participate in the parade this year. A spokesperson says the stations support Mayor Walsh and others who have been working toward a fully inclusive event.
Route 3 in Rockland finally back open tonight after a car slammed into the back of a tractor trailer, then smashed into the median guardrail. The driver was seriously hurt. The accident shut down the left lane of Route 3 north around exit 14 around noon today. A tractor trailer driver is okay. A Lynn firefighter recovering tonight, injured while battling this early morning blaze. When crews arrived at the home on Ontario Street, the flames had already sped to the entire 2.5-story house. Hey, everybody inside managed to get out safely.
In the wake of an apparent gas leak and explosion at New York City apartment buildings, Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey wants to help utilities replace old infrastructure. 8 people are now confirmed dead in the rubble of Wednesday's blast in Harlem. 60 people in all were injured. Neighbors say they've complained about the smell of gas for years. Markey's bill would help communities prioritize and fund utility repairs.
Passengers on the U.S. Airways flight sliding down the chute and running as fast as they could go. Tonight, we're learning more about the aborted takeoff in Philadelphia.
Oh my God, the plane is on fire.
The plane headed to Fort Lauderdale blew a tire during the takeoff. That caused the jet's nose to collapse right on the runway.
The second we went up, it just came crashing down, and it was like, and then everyone started screaming.
Felt the smoke, right? The smoke, and then they said evacuate the plane.
The 149 passengers and 5 crew used emergency slides to evacuate the Airbus A320 jet. Now, 2 of the passengers were hurt, but not seriously. Early this morning, crews lifted the plane to allow investigators to examine the landing gear. Workers then towed the plane to a hangar for further inspection.
I did what I had to do. 15 miles an hour.
And in doing so, this man saved an MBTA bus driver's life. His heroics all caught on camera.
Nearly 1 year after the Boston Marathon bombings, are you feeling increased stress? How to handle the rush of emotions as the 1-year mark approaches.
Plus, did that Malaysian Airlines plane vanish on purpose? The new information showing someone on board may have intentionally turned off the communications.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
With Luna, buy 1 room of flooring, get all other rooms of product for just $50 each. 877-241 Luna.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a lowest ever #1 lease on an all-wheel drive Venza for just $178 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get a #1 Venza deal with 0 for 60. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Nova Scotia. Discover what it's like to truly let yourself go. To travel on a whim across thousands of miles of unspoiled seacoast, lined with beaches waiting to be explored. Dive into some of the warmest ocean waters north of the Carolinas. Encounter friendly seaside towns full of life, but free from all the crowds. Spend afternoons savoring vineyards so beautiful they make other wine regions blush. Chart a course through sparkling waters and meet an ocean full of friends waiting to say hello. Then come alive with the night and find a rhythm that's happy to play as late as you are. Discover a vacation experience where the only thing you'll want more of is time. Freedom is a place, and it's here, Nova Scotia. Take yourself there.
Excuse me, do your dentures come with a guarantee?
Guarantee. No.
Okay, hold it. Let's try something new.
Mr. Stevens, your dentures are completely guaranteed.
Really?
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 Wow.
Aspen Dental is doing whatever it takes to give America a healthy mouth, like guaranteeing your dentures or your money back. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL because your mouth is our mission.
He loves skiing and skateboarding, so young Tom Sims combined them, creating a whole new way down the mountain. Uncompromising creativity, it's also how Mazda made a crossover that combines nimble handling with outstanding fuel efficiency. This is the Mazda CX-5. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda CX-5 Sport for $229 a month for 36 months.
Apparently, there's growing evidence tonight that someone on board that missing Malaysia Airlines jet may have intentionally turned off the communication systems.
The plane carrying more than 200 passengers and crew vanished 1 week ago now. As Craig Boswell shows us, investigators think the jet went thousands of miles off course.
Investigators are digging deeper into why two key communication systems on Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 were shut down before the plane disappeared from civilian radar. U.S. officials say the Boeing 777 continued to ping satellites for more than 4 hours, indicating the plane continued to fly and raising the possibility that whatever happened was deliberate.
I question as to who might have been in the cockpit at the time when that aircraft had the, particularly the transponder turned off and the heading change.
U.S. experts believe unidentified blips on military radar moving back across the Malaysian peninsula into the Strait of Malacca represent the missing Boeing 777 flying way off course.
We are now working very closely with our team from U.S. to get whatever information of satellite.
As part of the ever-expanding search, the USS Kidd has a new assignment east and west of the Andaman Islands, and U.S. surveillance aircraft are conducting night missions.
We are now pushing further east into the South China Sea and further into the Indian Ocean.
The plane was carrying enough fuel to fly another 2,500 miles, leaving a lot more territory for search crews to try and cover. Craig Boswell for CBS News, Washington.
A Malaysian government official says someone with aviation skills was responsible for the plane's change in course. So far, there is no evidence linking the pilots to any wrongdoing, but investigators are digging into their backgrounds.
Well, the weekend is here, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty nice Saturday, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Let's get back to Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher, who's at the Flower and Garden Show, and we have a weekend of half spring and then back to winter.
Well, you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? We can get a little bit of mild air in here, and that is a good thing, and you can get plenty of spring feelings here at the Flower Show. We thought that you at home, if you couldn't make it out here, you would just like to see some life, some flowers. Maybe you can almost smell those scents through the TV tonight. And certainly if you do come down here, I can speak from experience being here for the last half hour or so. It'll be worth the trip. It feels rejuvenating. Let's take a look at some of the temperatures across the Northeast. And it is quite chilly, but an improvement today over what we saw yesterday. Temperatures climbing through the 30s. It's actually as warm now as it's been all day. Keeping in mind our high temperatures are skewed a little later now that we're in daylight saving time. To the west, you see the much more mild air. 58 in Cleveland. They're melting some snow. 62 down in Cincinnati. Some 60s down toward D.C. and Baltimore. And all that air will, in a way, get toward us as we head into the day tomorrow. We've got a system that's moisture-starved. There's a few rain showers along it that are moving through Traverse City, Michigan, and colder air behind it. But not a lot of actual rain that's going to mar our weekend plans. We'll just be dodging a few drops as we head into tomorrow morning. That
high pressure off the East Coast, bringing in the southwesterly winds and our milder air. So that flow out of the southwest keeps our temperatures from dropping tonight. We're looking at 30s across the region, 29 in Fitchburg, Keene down to 28, but certainly a little easier to take than the last couple of nights, challenging some record lows. Providence, by the way, managed to break one. Then we look at the highs tomorrow. All right, we're in the 40s to low 50s during the afternoon. A little bit more damp in the morning, a little drier in the afternoon time frame, but compared to what we saw this week and what's coming next week, this is your chance to get outside and feel pretty comfortable in doing so. Big event going on Sunday. It's not the only one, but folks will be celebrating St. Patrick's Day. We're heading out towards Southie. The parade itself is at 1 o'clock. It's going to be cold this year. Give me a little extra Guinness. We've got temperatures in the 20s to mid-30s. It'll be breezy outside. Advertised near 50, but at least we don't have any rain or snow. That'll be any issue for the parade route as we head through Sunday afternoon. Now, as we head toward late Sunday and Monday, we are going to be watching a storm system developing across the southeast. That with it is going to have quite a bit of moisture, and it's going to come very close to us here in the southern New England. I do think that this strong area of high pressure with its cold, dry air is going to fend that off, and maybe we'll look at some light snow. At this point, does not look like a major event for St. Patrick's Day. We'll talk more about the potential there and some of the cooler air for next week coming up next half hour near the Flower Show in the Seaport Center in Boston. Jack, Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Of course, WBZ is your official marathon station. Tonight we have some new information about the weekend events before the marathon. This is how all of the events will play out. Friday, the Sports and Fitness Expo will open at the Heinz Convention Center. It'll be open through Sunday. Now, because that Sunday is Easter, the BAA 5K will be held Saturday. The race will be a little different this year with a start and finish at Boston Common. There will also be one additional wave of runners this year for a total of 4 waves. The 4th wave takes off 11:25 in the morning.
Mystic Aquarium is working to bring a harbor seal with a serious neurological condition to New England. This is Ziggy Starr. Last year, she was found collapsed on a California beach, severely emaciated. Well, veterinarians say her condition makes it almost impossible for her to survive in the wild. So right now, Mystic is looking for help, trying to move Ziggy in California here to the aquarium. Go to our website, cbsboston.com, for more information. It was a big day for gaming supporters in Massachusetts.
Still ahead, construction begins on the very first slots parlor in the state.
Plus, a medical breakthrough, how 3D printing technology is helping transform the appearance of accident victims. Now let's check in with Lisa. She's going to look at what's coming up at 6.
Well, Paula and Jack, nearly a year after the marathon bombings, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. So we wanted to know, what's the holdup? Tonight at 6, we take a closer look at the investigations and why the federal government has been slow to reach conclusions. Also coming up at 6 o'clock, changing times and prices at the old ballpark. How Fenway is switching up how it deals with some tickets.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika's Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection, on Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
Sleepy's 36-hour mattress sale is going on now. Get Simmons Queen mattress sets starting as low as $2.99. Or Serta Perfect Sleeper Queen sets for just $4.99. Hurry in now through Sunday. Only at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals.
Lord & Taylor is having its biggest fashion sale of the season. Buy more, save more on select items. Must-have handbags at 25% off. 50% off men's fashions. And buy more, save more on women's sportswear. Get 30% off on the latest men's shoes. And buy more, save more on women's shoes too. At the biggest fashion sale of the season. Going on now. Get into the store or shop online at Lord & Taylor.
Welcome to the beautiful appliance showrooms of Barron's Major Brands. I'm here to report live about this incredible Frigidaire front-load laundry pair. You get this energy-efficient washer with 5 cycles and 5 temp settings. Plus, you get this ultra-capacity dryer. And while supplies last, you get both for only $9.99. Hurry in now for this incredible Frigidaire washer and dryer pair. When it comes to appliances, nobody ever beats a Barron's price.
It's the Toyota number one for everyone national sales event. Now we're making you number one with savings. Get a $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive Venza with no cost maintenance included. Hurry, it ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places. It's the Toyota number one for everyone national sales event. Toyota is number one in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you number one with nationwide savings. Get a lowest ever $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included. Or get a number one deal on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with 1.9 for 60. Number one for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
On the Health Watch, doctors in Great Britain use a 3D printer to rebuild the face of a man disfigured in an accident. Tina Kraus explains how the technology is helping make medical history.
Stephen Powers says he didn't want to leave the privacy of his home after a motorbike crash disfigured his face 2 years ago.
If I had to go out, then I would wear a hat, glasses, anything I could to basically disguise myself so you couldn't see it.
Plastic surgery wasn't enough to repair the badly damaged bones in his face, so he felt self-conscious. That all changed when British surgeons wheeled him into the operating room. They printed a 3D model of his face as a guide to transform his appearance.
Without the guide, it's up to our freehand decision-making on the operating table.
Doctors spent months planning the high-tech 3D operation.
There's that actual custom-made plate holding the bones back into position.
They made titanium implants to help reconstruct Powers' eye socket and cheekbone without affecting his sight.
It's just like a jigsaw puzzle, and you're putting the pieces back together where they fit.
The 29-year-old says the surgery has changed his life.
I expected it to be a little bit better, but it wasn't. It was a lot different.
Doctors say Power is one of the first trauma patients in the world to have the 3D surgery. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Analysts say the 3D printing industry could grow to $3.7 billion by next year.
New research shows just how important it is to treat strokes quickly. Scientists say that every 15-minute delay in treatment robs survivors of about 1 month of healthy living. The world's fastest stroke centers take an average of 20 minutes to start treatment after a patient arrives. Most centers in the U.S. average 70 to 80 minutes.
Well, there's a new face now in charge of the Blarney blowout investigation at UMass Amherst.
Who that school hired to prevent another situation like that free St. Patrick's Day party that got way out of control.
Plus, a Massachusetts man in a coma. What happened moments after he got off a plane in Florida that put him in the hospital? Plus,
an MBTA bus driver suffers a seizure while driving. Fortunately, a passenger takes control of the wheel.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Now use special Truck Month pricing to get a total value of over $7,500 on the Silverado All-Star Edition with best-in-class V8 fuel economy.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
On the next Patriots All Access, we break down the Darrelle Revis signing and the rest of the free agent frenzy. Plus, we take an inside look at the NFL Combine and break down the draft process with Logan Ryan and Duron Harmon. Tonight at 7 on WBZ, your home for the Patriots.
I just woke up today and I said, I need something sportier. And done.
Okay, Maxwell. Just need to contact your insurance company with the VIN number.
I just did it with my Geico app. VIN number's up to the loaded.
Okay, well then, Jerry here will take you through all the features then.
Why don't we go out to the car?
Okay, just outside. Okay, yeah. His dad is my boss.
Yeah.
VIN scanning to add a car, just a tap away on the Geico app.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee, a 2013 top IIHS safety pick.
Imagine
Imagine finding the furniture you love at low sale prices. Now imagine upgrading to your choice of fabric at no extra charge. It's all possible at the Boston Interiors Custom Upholstery Sale. All our upholstery is made in the USA from quality materials you can trust to last. And this month only, it's all on sale. All chairs, sofas, sleepers, and sectionals. Plus, custom order any available fabric at the same price as stock. Come in soon and save. Sale ends March 31st.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar. Forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda 6 Sport for $199 a month for 36 months.
On Marathon Monday, will you be running? Share your story with WBZ.
Go to cbsboston.com/mymarathon and tell us why you're in the race.
We're following breaking news at 5:30. Scott Brown will be forming an exploratory committee to look into a U.S. Senate run in New Hampshire. If he does enter the race, he'll face off after a primary with Democrat Jeanne Shaheen.
Also breaking tonight, the MBTA has fired the Green Line conductor at the controls during Monday's crash that injured 10 people. An investigation found that driver, Sidley Gardner, was speeding and didn't pay attention to signals on the track.
And passengers on an MBTA bus rush in to save the driver after he passes out behind the wheel. And they say they just acted on instinct.
The passengers were able to stop the bus and keep everybody on board safe. Paul Burton spoke to the people who helped save lives.
I knew the guy was in trouble and just did what I had to do.
Richard Hyatt says he did not hesitate to help out this MBTA bus driver who began suffering a seizure while driving down Washington Street in Quincy.
I'm kind of surprised at how calm I was.
With other passengers on board, Richard quickly jumped out of his seat when he noticed the driver shaking.
I saw his right foot come down on the brake and then back up and then down on the brake again and then came back up, and that's when I shot over there. I said, there's something wrong, and he started to slump over. I went over there, I got him under control. I got the steering wheel and I forced my foot in between his and I put it into neutral.
That first jolt was when he slammed the brake on the first time.
While Richard got control of the bus, his girlfriend Patricia called 911.
Just helping him. That's all I was thinking about. Was trying to get this guy help. He was so sick.
Fortunately, Richard was able to bring the bus to a stop. That's when all the passengers got off.
I just feel that we acted really well as a team, and I'm glad the guy is all right and nobody got seriously hurt.
A close call caught on camera with a happy ending thanks to Richard's fast thinking.
I'm just glad that we were there to help. You know, I mean, I think that's what it boils down to, and I'd do it again in a flash.
Fortunately, no one was injured in the incident. The bus driver was taken to the hospital. He was treated and released. He hasn't returned back to work, but he is expected to be okay. In Quincy, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
And the MBTA released a statement thanking all of the customers for their swift thinking that helped prevent an accident. That should be a good day today to go out and enjoy full flowers in bloom.
That's right. You can see them at the Seaport Convention Center, and our Eric Fisher is there at the flower show. And Eric was thinking tomorrow, I hope there's a lot of snow melt, so when those crocuses start to poke up, we can see them.
If you're south of Boston, maybe you've got a snowless landscape. If you're north and west of Boston, maybe this is good for the psyche to just look around and see that, yes, life will bloom yet again here in New England. We know it happens every year, and winter won't go on forever. Let's take a look at some of the headlines that we're tracking for you as we head off for the weekend. Tonight, really, not nearly as bad as what we dealt with last night. We'll be having record low temperatures, and by tomorrow, we'll feel spring back in the air. 40s and low 50s during the afternoon. Great day to open up the windows a little bit, maybe let some fresh air in. More cold follows it, though, so soak it in while you can. Looks like we'll stay below average for much of next week. And then that storm on Monday, it's close. We're going to keep an eye on it over the weekend. It looks like mainly a miss at the moment. Maybe some light snow around, especially the South Coast, Cape and Islands, most at risk for that. In the interim, the weekend, some morning showers to dodge tomorrow. Nothing major, but just a few raindrops. And then on Sunday for all the St. Patrick's Day festivities, day early there. Temperatures in the 30s, breezy cold, at least it'll be sunny. No storms to deal with in our Sunday forecast. All right, we're going to take you A little walk around here at the flower show coming up. Let's talk to a man who carved a piece of Granite State granite into a beautiful statue. You've got to see that in a little bit. Jack, follow back to you.
Can't wait. All right, thanks so much. Well, WBZ security analyst and former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis is now the person looking into what led to the so-called Blarney blowout at UMass Amherst. The school wants to know how to better prepare for disturbances. Alcohol was likely a major factor in this case, but the student-to-police officer ratio could have also played a big role.
There's thousands of students, and there's only 40 or 50 officers, a total of maybe 70 or 80 when you combine all of the forces. So it's a difficult problem.
Police arrested more than 70 students when last weekend's party raged out of control.
Question tonight, what happened? The Saugus man is in a coma and he's a long way from home. Last week, Danny Flynn arrived at Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A few hours later, someone saw him falling out of a moving car. Well, police don't know if he was pushed or he jumped out. Flynn's family, who flew to Florida to be at his side, suspects foul play.
I think he was targeted, possibly drugged, and forced into a vehicle where the assailants either intended on using him to go to ATMs or, God knows what.
Family members say it's also unusual that Danny was not dressed to go out and was not carrying his cell phone or his car keys.
Groundbreaking today on the Commonwealth's first and only slots parlor. 1, 2, 3. Penn National just broke ground on the Plain Ridge Park Casino. This $225 million design will have more than 1,200 slot machines and employ 500 full-time workers. The slots parlor is scheduled to open in spring of 2015.
Secretary of State John Kerry and Russia's foreign minister met today in London about the crisis in Ukraine. This weekend, the Crimea region will vote on whether to secede. As Alfonso Van Marsh shows us, Kerry is making it clear the U.S. and the international community will not recognize that referendum.
Secretary of State John Kerry met for 6 hours with his Russian counterpart in London, but did not reach a diplomatic solution to the crisis in Ukraine.
After much discussion, the foreign minister made it clear that President Putin is not prepared to make any decision regarding Ukraine until after the referendum on Sunday.
Residents in Crimea are voting whether to secede from Ukraine. Russia promises to respect the outcome, but the United States says that vote violates international law.
Neither we nor the international community will recognize the results of this referendum.
Russian troops and local militias have occupied Crimea for weeks. Moscow says they are protecting the ethnic Russian majority there. The United States wants to impose sanctions if Russia does not back off. Britain and the rest of the European Union support the U.S. proposed sanctions, which include travel restrictions and freezing the assets of at least 120 Russians. Kerry is offering to suspend those sanctions if Russia stops troop advances in Crimea, returns Russian troops to bases, and allows in international observers. Ukraine's new government says it is willing to give Crimea more autonomy and more balance between East and Western influences. And that could help the United States and Russia remain friendly rivals and not return to being Cold War-era enemies. Alfonso Van Marsh, CBS News, London.
Well, Kerry says that he was told that Russian President Putin will not make any decisions about Crimea until after Sunday's referendum. Now, if the sanctions go as planned, though, they will go into effect on Monday.
One local university paying students not to come for a full year, and why the school hopes it will actually help those students in the long run.
And a local NBA star has his mom to thank for some of his success. Coming up, inside their sometimes tricky relationship.
Is it true you've sold more Nissans than any other dealer in New England ever?
Yes, it's true.
Right now at Kelly Nissan in Woburn, Linfield, and Beverly, lease a new 2014 Nissan Altima 2.5S for just $79 per month.
Go to kellyauto.com. Excuse me, do your dentures come with a guarantee?
Guarantee.
Okay, hold it. Let's try something new.
Mr. Stevens, your dentures are completely guaranteed.
Really?
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 Wow. Aspen Dental is doing whatever it takes to give America a healthy mouth, like guaranteeing your dentures or your money back. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL because your mouth is our mission.
What makes Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets a smarter way to shop for furniture? Come see for yourself. We've got the biggest selection of brand name furniture around. American made, traditional, contemporary. With over 200,000 square feet of quality furniture and decorating ideas, we've got your style. And more than 250 brand names at outlet prices. 4 outlets, 1 destination. In the furniture capital of New England. Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets. A smarter way to shop for furniture.
Get ready. Wherever spring finds you, a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Get ready for spring and a brand new Subaru Forester, Motor Trend's 2014 Sport Utility of the Year. Drive home a brand new Subaru Forester, a top safety pick plus, for only $21,995. Plus, get 1.9% financing for up to 48 months. Get a great deal and go love spring.
You deserve more. At Plymouth Rock Assurance, we believe in giving you more. More than what you might expect from a typical insurance company. Receive a claim check on the spot from our Crash Busters team, which can come directly to you. You're busy. With our door-to-door valet claim service, you can get your car repaired without interrupting your busy day. How about a free one-time cab ride when you feel it would be unsafe to drive? Ask your local independent agent how you can get more. More than just insurance. Plymouth Rock Assurance.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika's Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection, on Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire. Brian, is it true you've sold more Nissans than any other dealer in New England ever?
Yes, it's true.
Right now at Kelly Nissan in Woburn, Linfield, and Beverly, lease a new 2013 Nissan Rogue S all-wheel drive for just $129 per month.
Go to kellyauto.com.
Yes, it's a crime involving shrimp, but this is no small theft. Cohasset police are looking for the man who walked right out of a grocery store with a few $100s worth of frozen shrimp. Take a look at the surveillance photo. Police say the man walked right out of the Shaw's March 7th with $240 worth of seafood on the cart. If you recognize the man, you'll probably have some red sauce on his shirt. You can call Cohasset Police.
Well, high school seniors looking to take a year off before they go to college can now get paid to do it. Tufts University has a gap year program which will allow students to defer their enrollment 1 year so they can travel, volunteer, or explore different communities. The competitive program will pay for housing, airfare, and visa fees.
This year, a Massachusetts native is up for Rookie of the Year in the National Basketball Association. And he has his mom to thank for at least some of his success on the court. Michael Carter Williams is from Hamilton, Mass. The first-round draft pick now plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. Over the next 2 years, Carter Williams will make $4.5 million, and it's money his mom is making sure he saves wisely.
We sat down and we talked about that and said to Michael, it seems like a lot of money right now, but for a lifetime, you know, it may not be that much.
She's definitely tough. Yeah, she's definitely been tough on me for a long time. But, you know, she's definitely a caring mother. You know, balances the problem when she needs to be caring, you know, when she needs to be tough.
Well, Carter Williams' mom knows what she's talking about. She played basketball at college and was a high school varsity basketball coach.
Feelings of anxiety 1 year later. How to handle the roller coaster of emotions before the anniversary of the marathon bombings and the places to look for strength.
And we're thinking spring down here at the Flower Show at the Seaport World Trade Center. In fact, the weather might actually feel like spring for a change tomorrow. We'll talk about that forecast right after the break.
Beep, boop, boop, beep. She says switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Call or click today.
No, where's Dad? Doesn't he know we're shooting a new Kia commercial?
I don't know. Maybe he's in the all-new 2014 Kia Sorento.
I'll bet he's behind the wheel of the new Kia Optima. He loves that car.
Let's go find him. Is he over here?
Is he here?
Hey!
You can drive a
2014 Kia Sorento for $129 a month or a brand new Kia Optima for only $99 a month.
Shop us last. You'll love us.
Discover more thrills than ever before on over 4,500 big-hitting slots. From the games you know and love to the newest titles and all the winning you can imagine. For a limited time, bring a hard copy of your recent Connecticut bonus play offer to Twin River. And when you join the Rewards Club, Twin River will match your offer with up to $400 in bonus play. Only at Twin River Casino. So much more, so close.
If I could turn backwards, straight to the dance floor, you'll still be waiting for me, will you still be my friend? I don't wanna bug you out with crazy, crazy ideas, for I know this ain't a good place for us to talk. You better get your move on. You gotta go.
Buy more, save more. Don't miss Lord & Taylor's biggest shoe sale of the season.
Romance blossoms at the Boston Flower and Garden Show, March 12th to the 16th at the Seaport World Trade Center. Stroll among alluring landscapes and unique floral displays. Learn the latest trends, meet master gardeners, and more. Buy tickets at bostonflowershow.com.
Life is full of surprises. Some good, some not so good. Don't get caught by surprise. Ask an independent agent about safety insurance enhanced coverage for auto, home, and business. Safety insurance will help you manage life storms.
Attention small business owners. It's your last chance on a great offer to get small business ready with our best speed available at your business location with Verizon high-speed internet and phones starting at $69.99 a month with a 2-year agreement. Call 1-866-SOLUTIONS now and get consistently fast high-speed internet and reliable phone with 99.9% network reliability starting at $69.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee and a firm price quote of your total monthly charges for 2 years in writing up front. Speed and reliability that makes you small business ready. That's powerful.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Now we're making you #1 with savings. Get a lowest ever $199 a month lease on an Avalon with no cost maintenance included. Hurry, it ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the Name Your Price tool. It gives you options based on your budget. It's a piece of cake. I was told there would be cake. Get a free quote at Progressive.com.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by Buick.
Certainly hard to believe, but a month from tomorrow, we will pause to remember the victims of the marathon bombings and the survivors who've battled back from injury.
You know, today they could be very tough, even for people who weren't directly involved. Lisa Hughes joins us to explain.
Well, Jack and Paula, for the first time ever, there will be psychologists stationed on the marathon route to help people who might be overwhelmed with emotion. And I'm told that we should expect a lot of feelings to bubble up between now and race day.
Oh my God. It triggered a lot of fears for people.
The first terrorist attack in Boston left us scared, insecure, traumatized. Psychiatrist Dr. Chris Carter says around the anniversary, people may feel all that again without immediately knowing why.
They just know that they're more reactive, they may be feeling a little bit more on edge, a little more tearful perhaps, or a little more irritable, a little less patient.
He says marking the anniversary can be part of the healing. Is it also a natural time for people to look at how far they've come since then?
I think it's a good time to do that. As bad as it was, what are the positives that come out of this? How can we use this as an opportunity to grow and to be stronger as a result of that?
He's seen the strength in the survivors firsthand. At Spalding Rehab, he met with them once a week for almost 2 months and watched their sadness and fear become anger and then resilience and gratitude.
The progress that these guys have been able to make has been incredible, and largely because of the generosity of strangers. In the midst of the horror and all of the evil that was there, look at all of the good that's been coming out.
And what a difference we can make when we help one another.
I think that with seeing people like Jeff and some of the others moving on with their lives, I think gives us hope for the resilience of the human spirit, that if he can overcome that, I can overcome this.
Boston strong. It's for you, Boston.
We come together in a positive way around that. Look at the things that we're able to accomplish.
Dr. Carter says it's important to remember that Boston Strong is not just a slogan. It's a sense of collective strength that we clung to in the days after the attack, and it can serve us well now. It doesn't mean that we don't get sad or anxious. He says it means that we feel all of those things, Jack and Paula, and we keep going.
Yeah, a lot's going to happen in a month from now, and we've got some special remembrances. Still makes me mad. I haven't gotten over the anger yet. I'm a lesser person probably than most.
No.
Hey, let's talk flowers and bring our mood back up. How about that?
I know. Boston at this time of year means flowers and swan boats and beautiful sights all around us. And Eric Fisher is bringing us that from the Garden Show at the Seaport World Trade Center. And you're right, I wish we could take in the aroma around you. It smells so good in there, Eric.
It is such a relief after what we've been dealing with over the past few months. I spent 11 years growing up working in greenhouses, and this was always my favorite time of year, just getting your hands in the dirt and that smell of spring, something new, some new growth. And hopefully you can head on down here and get that feeling as well. Let's talk about the forecast and see if we can get that the natural way outside as we head toward this weekend. And there will be some warmer temperatures, especially as we head into the day tomorrow. A little reprieve from all this cold. Today we have highs in the 30s, not too bad, 38 degrees. Low is 16 this morning, not quite near the record. That was 12. Came close. Boston's only had one record low in the last 7 years. It's tough to do. Missed the boat again this morning. Maybe not too many complaints about that. 38 in the city now. Daytime high, 37 in Providence currently. These temperatures won't move much tonight. We have southwesterly winds bringing some milder air. That'll keep us mainly in the 30s all night long. There is much milder air off to our southwest. The Berg at 59 degrees. Cincinnati's at 62. That's a little sample of the air that's going to be in here for our Saturday to kick off the weekend. Cold at bay for at least one day around here in New England. So tonight we cloud up. There'll be some showers arriving a little bit before daybreak. Temperatures again holding pretty much in the 30s throughout the overnight. And then tomorrow morning as we wake up there'll be some showers. Kind of a spring feel. It'll be a little chilly to start, but as we head toward lunch and beyond, temperatures in the 40s to low 50s. The winds turn more westerly. The afternoon is looking brighter. Now, there could be a few icy spots maybe on Saturday night. It'll be clear and cold again. Temperatures back into the 20s. I think any ice would be very few and far between. Just the usual freeze-thaw cycle. And then as we head towards Sunday, it'll be sunny, cold, breezy, highs in the 30s. As we learned today, the sun's out. Doesn't feel that bad, but it certainly isn't as warm as it could be for all the events going on across the region for St. Patrick's Day. If you are running, a lot of folks will be out on Route 16 and 30 as we head through tomorrow morning. A few showers early on if you want to avoid those. Wait till late morning. Temperatures climbing through the 40s. We'll get a little bit more sunshine to mix in there too as those winds start to pick up out of the west, drying us out a little. Now maybe you don't want to run. You want to hit the slopes, get your exercise there. Plenty of new snow at all the ski areas. There'll be some rain and snow showers on Saturday. Cold and breezy on Sunday, but dry and a great day to head up there and carve some of that new powder. Some spots over 2 feet of new snow this week. And we are watching a storm for late Sunday into Monday. This can bring all sorts of rain across the southeast. The question is, how far north can it get? And when we have a strong Arctic high over New England, usually that cold, dry air, especially with this pattern, helps to suppress these storms. So I think it will mainly be a mist. There may be some light snow around the Cape, the island, south coast. Stay tuned over the weekend to see if that track changes. It will be very cold on Monday for St. Patrick's Day. We've got 30s on Tuesday as we head toward Wednesday, low 40s, and our next chance of showers Wednesday night into Thursday. Our schoolyard shout-out for today. Danielle visited the Kennedy School in Franklin. Our team has been busy on the streets heading out there. Reminder that you can always send in a request for any of these school visits on our website, cbsboston.com. All right, back out here live at the Flower Show. We have a beautiful sculpture that's been behind us tonight. And here's the man who carved that beautiful sculpture. It's Joe Gray, stonemason and sculptor, and this is a local product, Joe.
It is a local product out of New Hampshire.
So you told me you spent all winter carving this outside. Describe to us how that is possible.
It was very cold, so I pick and choose my days. But, you know, I worked very hard on this, so I never really noticed the cold weather. When it was below zero, I'd take breaks. But, you know, I'd work an hour or two at a time. But I love what I do. So, really, I had to finish this for the flower show. Carolyn Weston asked me to put together a display with a sculpture. I was very proud to do that. Very happy to do it, and I'm very proud of my sculpture.
Are you hoping to inspire a little inspiration amongst the people who come out here this weekend?
I am, definitely. Romance in the Garden all the way. That's the name of my sculpture, Romance in the Garden.
Thanks for sharing it with us in the story, Joe. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
It's unbelievable, some of the talent here around the region. That's what the show is for, to get some inspiration for the spring that Jack and Paula, we know, will be here eventually. Back to you.
I think he's going to set up a new gardening trend, rotating tables in your garden. That's a beautiful, the way the sculpture is spinning there behind you. Gorgeous. Thank you.
I'll just take a flower.
You're happy with the tulip. Eric, thank you. Well, next story coming up, proof you are never too old to stay active.
Coming up in a moment, athletes in their 80s, 90s, even 100 years of age competing in this weekend's Boston Masters track and field event. There's hope for me. Here's Lisa with a look what's coming up at 6.
You're always a contender, my friend. Coming up at 6 o'clock, going too fast and ignoring track signals. The MBTA's investigation into the Green Line derailment and the action it is taking against the driver. And then exploring his options, Scott Brown jumping back into politics, getting ready for a run in New Hampshire.
American-owned, family-operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
And Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to JP with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. JP, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika's Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection. On Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
Next week, don't miss the most exciting event in college basketball. Who will be stopped and who will be unstoppable? Catch all the game day action on WBZ. Sponsored locally by Nasal Allergy 24 Hours. Stops more of what makes you miserable.
The most effective class of treatment for nasal allergies are 24-hour prescription nasal sprays. And now, one's available without one. New Nasacort. It relieves your worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
He loves skiing and skateboarding, so young Tom Sims combined them, creating a whole new way down the mountain. Uncompromising creativity. It's also how Mazda made a crossover that combines nimble handling with outstanding fuel efficiency. This is the Mazda CX-5. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda CX-5 Sport for $229 a month for 36 months.
In a crowd of light beers, how long does it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
This is a story that absolutely, positively, 100% proves the adage that you're never too old. How about a USA Track and Field Championship where competitors are as old as 100? As Jim Armstrong shows us, it's happening all weekend right here in Boston.
It's the USA Masters Indoor Track Championship at the Reggie Lewis Center at Roxbury Community College. And Leland McPhee, a member of the SoCal Track Club from San Diego, is competing in 4 events. Today, it was the men's weight throw.
Out the back.
A little wobbly, but he did it.
Gets me out of bed every morning and keeps me alive.
920 athletes are competing this weekend from ages 30 to 100.
My goal is to get everybody in shape in America that's over 50 years of age.
We have 47 world champions here to regular everyday Joe and Marys.
And they're competing in a full range of indoor track events.
It's the competition. It's the only sport I feel that you have that head-to-head competition for so long into your age groups.
And next week, many of these jumpers, vaulters, and runners go to the World Masters Championship in Budapest.
You do not have to stop. In fact, you always want to get to the next age group. The next 5-year age group is very important. Excellent. When you get to be 100, that's the one you want to be in.
Jim Armstrong, WBZ News.
You can watch all the action at the Masters Championship tomorrow and Sunday at the Reggie Lewis track, and admission is free. Well, stay with us. We have much more still ahead. The news at 6 starts right now.
A Green Line driver fired over this crash. Why investigators say he's responsible for the wreck.
Scott Brown's big announcement. He's back in the political game, but can he win?
Pulling out of Boston's St. Patrick's Day parade. Why a longtime longtime sponsor says it won't be involved this year.
We know it's been a long winter, so some signs of spring inside the flower show here at the Seaport in Boston. We'll take you for a look around and talk about some warmer temps for the weekend.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
We begin tonight with a CBS exclusive. Brand new video shows the moment the natural gas explosion leveled 2 New York City buildings. Debris is blown everywhere, nearly crushes a man. The force of the blast blew out the windows across the street. 8 people have been killed in the blast. Dozens more were hurt. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jack Williams.
I'm Lisa Hughes. The punishment tonight came quickly here in our area for an MBTA driver. He has been fired after a crash on the Green Line. An investigation by the T finds the trolley driver was speeding before the crash. The MBTA also says Sidley Gardner ignored traffic signals before the train derailed on Monday.
All right, we'll get more on that story from Ken McLeod in Kenmore Square coming up. But right now, let's get the latest on what should be a great weekend. And by golly, we deserve it.
That's right, at a place that couldn't be more beautiful. We're talking about the Flower and Garden Show at the Seaport World Trade Center. And that's where Eric Fisher is lucky enough to be tonight. Eric?
Yeah, we had a little pool going in the office, and I got the long straw for this one, so we got to come out and enjoy a little bit of spring. If you have a chance to come out, it's just a spirit lifter, I think, to see some flowers in bloom, to smell some of those scents of spring, and hopefully you get a chance to come on out. If not, we know it'll be around the corner in our own backyards. We'll look just like this. Let's take a look at what's going on tonight. Not exactly balmy, but it's a better spot than where we were at this time last night. We were looking at temperatures falling back in the single digits last night. Now it's 38 in Boston, 37 in Taunton, Nashua as well, and even North Adams, out in the Berkshire, sitting at 40 degrees. That's a sign of some of that milder air that's going to start to push in. So our temperatures actually stay in the 30s as we head through the overnight. Clouds will be starting to increase, and a few rain showers are possible as we head towards sunrise tomorrow. It's not a washout day for Saturday, just a few raindrops that we're going to be dodging for the first, say, 6 to 7 hours or so. Here's a look at the timing. You notice our temps not really changing overnight. 8 o'clock in the morning, some of those showers traversing the area will be hit or miss. It's not going to be downpouring for an hour or two. And then as we get toward the afternoon, we'll start to dry out. Temperatures 40s to low 50s. If we see any spotty showers late in the day, best chance of that would be across some of the higher terrain. And you notice some snow showers to the north. They've had plenty of snow in northern New England. A little bit more on top if you're heading out to ski or snowboard this weekend. We'll talk about the colder air that follows tomorrow. Maybe you don't want to hear about it, but if you have St. Patrick's plans, need to know the details about 10 minutes from now. Jack, back to you.
All right, thank you so much. Look forward to those details.
All right, now we have the very latest on the MBTA investigation into that Green Line crash on Monday.
Yeah, the T says that Sidley Gardner actually ignored traffic signals before the train derailed. Let's go now to Kenmore Square. Ken McLeod has late details for us. Ken.
Well, Jack, as a result of this case, T General Manager Beverly Scott says she will tighten the guidelines for hiring both bus and train operators. Now, earlier this week, you might recall that investigators ruled out any mechanical cause to the crash that happened here, and today they went ahead and blamed it squarely on that trolley driver. All right, I guess we're having some problems with that report right now. Again, we don't have any details after the crash on the new restrictions that Beverly Scott wants to place on drivers. We're told, though, that she wants them put in place quickly so that she can implement them within a month. Reporting live from Kenmore Square, Ken McLeod, WBZ News.
I'm announcing today that I formed an exploratory committee to prepare a campaign for the United States Senate in New Hampshire.
Now that's Scott Brown, who is jumping back into politics.
Well, the former GOP senator from Massachusetts is taking his ambitions north. He's exploring his options up in the Granite State. Our Michael Rosenfield live in Nashua, New Hampshire with more on Brown's just announced plans. Michael.
Hi, Jack. Today's announcement ends months of speculation ever since Scott Brown moved from Massachusetts to New Hampshire. It is what everyone up here has been talking about.
Kayla's dad, Scott Brown.
Scott Brown confirming he's forming an exploratory committee to possibly run for Senate in New Hampshire in a bid to unseat Jeanne Shaheen. In his speech at the Republican Leadership Conference, he said Democrats who voted for Obamacare need to go, and he stressed his ties to the Granite State.
We have a lot of work ahead of us. but together we're going to make 2014 a great Republican year in New Hampshire and across this great country.
The former senator from Massachusetts said starting tomorrow he'll begin traveling the state with his wife, connecting with voters and hearing what they want from their elected officials, something he said he's already been doing.
For about a year now, I've been traveling all over this state, talking to folks and supporting good candidates, good people. I've traveled so much in New Hampshire, I'm focusing on a new personal milestone. The truck now has about 300,000 miles on it.
Scott Brown has until mid-June to officially get in the race and file the necessary paperwork. If he does that, if he does jump in, he'll have to win the primary, and if he does that, he would then face off against the incumbent Jean Shaheen in the general election in November. And political experts up here say it will be an uphill battle. She is a tough candidate. She knows how to win. She's known as an election machine here in the Granite State. We're live in Nashua, New Hampshire. Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News. Jack?
Okay, Michael, thank you. Let's take a look now at Brown's political pedigree. You know, he started in Rentham back in the 90s. First he was assessor, then he was a Rentham selectman. And then in 1998 he went to the State House, to the House of Representatives, a seat there. Then it was some 6 years later that he made it to the State Senate in Massachusetts, staying there until that U.S. Senate special election in 2010. And he beat Martha Coakley, you might remember, and that shocked a lot of people around the country. He took over the seat left vacant by the death of Senator Ted Kennedy. It was 3 years later, though, when that term expired, that Brown ran for a full term, but he lost to Elizabeth Warren.
Well, our John Keller is here now. This is exciting. So, John, look into your crystal ball. What are the odds that Brown wins in New Hampshire?
Well, let me see. I would say, Lisa, they're far from insurmountable, but they're also far from odds-on, mainly because of the formidable opponent who stands in the way. Of course, that would be Jean Shaheen, the incumbent, who has strong approval ratings in the latest polling out of New Hampshire, a 13-point lead over Brown in a head-to-head matchup, and a 20-point lead among women. Now, with her longtime ally Hillary Clinton surely eager to come to New Hampshire as often as the Shaheen campaign wants, overcoming that gender gap may be Scott Brown's biggest challenge. And while the former senator is a formidable campaigner who can expect help from the backlash against Obamacare, he must first overcome a primary challenge from the right and then match wits with an incumbent who, one expert notes, has built a base that crosses party lines.
If you look at the people who are voting for her or are favorable to her, they include people who are unfavorable to Barack Obama. So she's got a big tent, and she's been able to distinguish herself from the problems in Washington, D.C.
Now, it'll be Brown's job to prevent Shaheen from doing that, Lisa, without going so negative that he provokes the sort of backlash you certainly recall from women that torpedoed his re-election run against Elizabeth Warren a couple of years ago.
And he does have to get through the primary as well if he decides to run.
Got to tack right, then tack left again. It's not easy being in politics.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun, though. John,
very interesting, yeah.
Thank you. Jack?
All right, Lisa, thank you. Tonight, federal prosecutors are calling a defense request to dismiss some of the charges against Johar Tsarnaev. Nonsense. Tsarnaev's defense team argues the charges are redundant. Prosecutors responded late this afternoon saying the number of charges in the indictment reflects the number of crimes Tsarnaev committed, nothing more. The evidence will show that Tsarnaev committed deadly crimes of mass destruction, deadly crimes of terrorism, deadly crimes of bombing, and multiple acts of murder. Tsarnaev faces 30 charges in connection with the Boston Marathon bombing. Judge George O'Toole has set a hearing for April the 16th on that request. Well, we are approaching the one-year mark of the deadly attack at the marathon finish line, but still no final report. Federal, state, and local lawmakers are turning up the heat. They want to know why that investigation is taking so long.
And our Bill Shields today went in search of those answers.
Before the smoke had scarcely cleared, investigations were underway by local and state authorities and federal agencies. Now it's been almost a year, and yet there are still no clear answers. How did the Tsarnaev brothers go undetected when there were signs that some in law enforcement were aware of the brothers? Multiple committees in Washington have been looking for answers, but their own conclusions have yet to be made public. Some say time is up. Senator Elizabeth Warren is one of those calling for answers.
We all want to know what happened, and we want to make sure that it doesn't happen again in Boston or any place else in the United States.
But former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis says it's a complicated multinational investigation, one that cannot be rushed.
There's a lot of work that has to be done. I'm expecting it to come out in the next month or so, and I think that's just about right as far as being diligent and doing all the examination that needs to be done.
Multiple investigations, multiple agencies, but nearly a year later, still no solid answers as to who knew what before the bombings. In Cambridge, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News.
Coming up on WBZ News tonight, changing times. Now the start of the Boston Marathon will be very different this year.
Plus, first class on the Green Monster, how some Red Sox ticket prices are changing and how they'll keep changing right up to game day.
The weather hasn't really been cooperating when it comes to spring yet, so why not come to the flower show, get a little taste of spring? She's excited about it. Let's take a look at the forecast, see if the temperatures will move up coming up.
You're looking for American-made quality in a bed.
It has to be Bernie and Phil's.
And right now, we'll pay your tax and we'll pay for your delivery. From our floor to your door, not 1 penny more.
It's the Toyota #1 for everyone national sales event. Toyota is #1 in what matters most to everyone, value. Now we're making you #1 with nationwide savings. Get a lowest ever $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included. Or get a #1 deal on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with 1.9 for $60. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Lord & Taylor is having its biggest fashion sale of the season. And buy more, save more on select items. Must-have handbags at 25% off. 50% off men's fashions. And buy more, save more on women's sportswear. Get 30% off on the latest men's shoes. And buy more, save more on women's shoes too. At the biggest fashion sale of the season. Going on now. Get into the store or shop online at Lord & Taylor.
I commute to work. I spend a lot of time in my car. I rely on AAA. Whenever I've called for help, they're there. I use AAA for everything to do with my car. To finance it, to insure it, fix it, even a battery when and wherever I need it. And as a AAA member, I have access to a whole network of savings at places I shop all the time, even online. And that saves time.
Call 1-800-JOIN-AAA or join at AAA.com. Membership for life.
It's award season, so what do Dodge and I have in common? They love a four-wheel drive. I love a four-letter word. Dodge is fabulous engineers. I mean, they're so good. I have hired them to do my next face. I used to babysit the Dodge brothers. Awful kids. Anyhow, I gotta go. My face is melting. Ice, I need ice.
Get a low-mileage lease on the new 2014 Dodge Durango SXT all-wheel drive for $299 a month for well-qualified lessees.
It's the Boston Flower and Garden Show, March 12th through the 16th at the Seaport World Trade Center. Romance blossoms among alluring gardens and sensational outdoor spaces. Stroll through unique floral displays. Learn the latest trends in organic gardening. Get thousands of ideas and explore hundreds of items for your own garden. The Flower Show, March 12th through the 16th at Boston Seaport World Trade Center. Learn more at bostonflowershow.com.
When you're looking for American-made quality in a bed.
It has to be Bernie and Phil's.
And right now, we'll pay your tax and we'll pay for your delivery. From our floor to your door, not 1 penny more.
Tonight, a longtime sponsor is pulling out of the South Boston St. Patrick's Day Parade with less than 48 hours to go. Sam Adams says it will not participate in the parade because of the uproar over the exclusion of gay groups from the event. Our sister radio stations, Mix 104.1 and 103.3 AMP Radio, have also decided not to participate in the parade this year. Mayor Marty Walsh says he has not given up yet on making this a fully inclusive event.
Well, this is where you're going to brighten up your Friday, and in anticipation of a nice Saturday, we're going to take you to a place where a guy even took his jacket off.
That's right, the Flower Show in the Seaport District. And Eric, the other day when I said it's too bad people can't smell that I was thinking flowers. You said mulch.
Mulch is the smell, absolutely. I love it when the landscaper comes over and dumps that huge pile of mulch in your driveway. You dig the shovel in there. It's gonna get here, I swear. Eventually we're gonna warm up, we're gonna feel that, and Jack, you lucky that's not all we're taking off out of here. Just a little warm. I think we're at 70 degrees, not bad. We have a pool going in the weather office, by the way, about when we're gonna hit 70. I'm not gonna tell you what the guesses are for the date. Let's take a look at our forecast for tonight first, and it's a little bit chilly outside. If you're walking around on the streets, we've got temperatures in the 30s, an improvement over yesterday, still a little below the average, that's for sure. And most temperatures will not move all that much as we head through tonight. The reason for that, we look to the south and west. We're in the 50s to low 60s down toward the Ohio Valley in the mid-Atlantic. That's the air that's moving toward us, and it's scouring out all that deep Arctic cold that was in place earlier on this morning. We all felt that when we walked out the front door. So the next weather system we're watching, it's this cold front across the Great Lakes. We'll starve for moisture. It doesn't have a lot of available moisture to create showers with it. You notice just a few speckled across Michigan right now. And so we'll just expect a few rain showers as we head into tomorrow morning, as early as just a couple of the pre-dawn hours tonight. Low temperatures, again, I mentioned, won't move all that much, maybe dipping down to the upper 20s. For the most part, we hold in the 30s across the area, and even bump up toward 40 by the time you wake up tomorrow morning on some southwesterly winds. Highs tomorrow, best day of our 7-day forecast, just like what we saw last week when we said Saturday, got to get outside. Same idea, 40s to low 50s. And that is just about average, but average is pretty good right now compared to what March has brought us over the last 2 weeks. Big event on Sunday. A lot of us will be heading out towards Southie, checking out the parade. That kicks off at 1. If you're going out in the parade route, it will be awfully cold this year, but at least we will have the sunshine. Breezy with temperatures in the 20s in the morning and 30s during the afternoon. We all felt today. That sun is pretty strong this time of year, so as long as you're in the bright conditions, it feels pretty tolerable. So here's how the whole pattern looks. That front moves through tomorrow, ushers in the cooler air. High pressure builds in, and then we're going to watch that high pressure Sunday night into Monday. We're hoping that that is going to keep a storm at bay. You'll notice that storm is sliding off to our south and east. A lot of dry, cold air at that high. The overall pattern is very progressive, meaning storms want to move fairly quickly west to east. And so we're calling for some light snow on Monday. It does not look like a major event, although it will be very cold, 20s to low 30s. Check back in this weekend and see if we have to update that forecast at all. Staying chilly on Tuesday and Wednesday. Chance of showers Wednesday night into Thursday. All those temps next week, yeah, they're below average, but hey, we're just checking off days at this point. We're at the middle part of March. We know as we turn the corner into April, things will get warmer. And as we head through April, it'll look like this outside. Some of the scenes from the flower show here at the Seaport World Trade Center. The tulips, the daffodils, all blooming in here. It smells great. It looks great. People are smiling. People are encouraged. The whole idea, if you're coming out here this weekend, is to find some inspiration, some ways that you might want to create your own backyard or front yard as we head to those warmer days we know are not too far down the road. They're open both on Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 9 tomorrow, 9 to 6 on Sunday evening. All right, that's the latest from here in the Seaport World Trade Center. We'll send it back to you guys. Jack and Lisa in the studio. Hopefully you are inspired from these live shots tonight.
Oh, yes, we're a little depressed, too, but we'll go with that glass half full. Thank you, Eric. We have breaking news from Hingham right now. A commuter ferry is stuck on a sandbar. This is a ferry that was leaving Hingham for Boston with 9 passengers on board. A state police boat removed the passengers. They're all fine, and they've been taken to shore. A towboat will now try to get the ferry off the sandbar. Coast Guard says a combination of high wind and low tide is to blame.
Well, the Red Sox are changing the way the popular green monster seats are going to be priced. Tickets will now increase and decrease in price based on demand and other factors, including the weather forecast. According to the Sox front office, the method is similar to how airline prices their tickets. Green monster tickets for games in April and May go on sale next Tuesday.
But before then, lots to talk about in the NFL.
Hope we get a good deal on those green monster seats, but let's talk about free agency.
Pressure on Eric Fisher, too, with that forecast.
Right?
Depending upon how high or how low they go. Right, yeah, let's talk football first, though. Day 4 of NFL free agency has been very quiet on the Patriots front. No big signings or departures just yet, and no news on the Vince Wilfork front. Multiple reports do say free agent defensive tackle Letroy Guion has visited with the Pats. He spent the last 7 years with the Vikings. The Pats had Seahawks quarterback Brandon Browner in for a visit yesterday. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport saying Browner has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Pats, while ESPN's Adam Schefter said there's been no deal struck just yet, and Browner's still talking with 3 other teams. Browner is suspended for the first 4 games of 2014 for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Wideout Julian Edelman was set to visit with the San Francisco 49ers today. Edelman grew up in the Bay Area. He's reportedly also turned down an offer from the Pats, but that door is still open. Ravens were also said to be interested in Edelman, but today they signed former Panthers wide receiver Steve Smith. Reports say it's a 3-year deal, $10.5 million. Now, Smith told Ravens reporter Aaron Wilson a few minutes ago that he personally spoke to Bill Belichick and that the Patriots were very interested in him, but Smith goes to the Ravens. And we'll take a close look at the free agency frenzy on Patriots All Access, a special edition tonight, coming up at the top of the hour, 7 o'clock, right here on WBZ. Celtics host the Phoenix Suns at the Garden tonight. Today, Brad Stevens told Gresham Zoe on 98.5 The Sports Hub that Avery Bradley will see some action tonight. He won't start. He'll come off the bench. Bradley's missed the last 13 games with a right ankle sprain. Now, the C's will also debut their new St. Patrick's Day sleeved uniforms. To baseball, Red Sox and Blue Jays spring training down in Dunedin, Florida today. Clay Buchholz making his 3rd start of the spring, looking sharp. Only gave up 2 hits in 4 scoreless innings while notching 3 strikeouts. Sox win at 3-1. One of the notes, Shane Victorino skipped a minor league game because he's feeling something in his thumb, but he's expected to play tomorrow. College hoops. Multiple reports say Steve Donahue will return as BC's basketball coach next season. The Eagles struggled this year, 8-24. Donahue was 54-76 in 4 seasons at Chestnut Hill. And tonight in Brooklyn, UMass will face George Washington in the 2nd round of the Atlantic 10 tournament. Last night, the Minutemen rallied from 11 points down in the second half to come back and beat Rhode Island by a score of 65-61. So good luck to the Minutemen. We can have a bunch of teams in March Madness. Harvard's definitely already in winning the Ivy League title. You got UMass, so good stuff all the way around.
Providence might make it?
Yeah, Providence looks to have a good shot.
All right.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
CBS Evening News coming up in a moment at 6:30.
Scott Pelley joins us live from New York with a preview, including a story about an epidemic, Scott, right here in Greater Boston.
Well, that's right, Lisa and Jack. In Greater Boston and a lot of other places across the country, there has been a sudden, sharp rise in heroin abuse and heroin deaths. And our Jim Axelrod went to Taunton and talked to a couple of moms who have a warning for parents. It's a warning everyone should hear, and we'll have it for you on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
All right, Scott, thank you. Coming up on our newscast, passengers to the rescue. A bus driver suffers a stroke as he's traveling down a busy road. The incredible video of what happened next. Stay tuned.
Bought our MDX because we needed something big enough for all our adventures, yet stylish and sophisticated enough for our urban lifestyle. The MDX delivered on both. Not to mention great cargo space, 3rd row seat, and a touch screen with text messaging. The MDX was perfect.
During the Black Tag sales event, upgrade to the all-new MDX with low lease payments or special 0.9% APR financing with a portion of the proceeds helping to support Boston Children's Hospital. Learn more online at neaccudealers.com.
March into winning at Foxwoods Resort Casino. On March 23rd, we're giving away a Jeep Sahara with a Sea-Doo jet ski and trailer. And 4 lucky winners each receive $1,000 bonus slot play. All guaranteed. Catch winning entertainment with stars like Jay Moore, Don Omar, and Miley Cyrus at our St. Patrick's Day food and drink specials. You won't want to miss Wine and Design with Drunken Palate. Friday, March 14th, 21st, and 28th at our new lounge, The Fox. Meet up with friends and enjoy a cocktail and live DJ every Saturday night at Foxwoods Resort Casino.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar. Forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda 6 Sport for $199 a month for 36 months.
Let me tell you a secret about the mattress business. You can put a fabric on any mattress and make it look beautiful. You'll never really know what's inside, and you won't know what you're paying for. It might even feel good at first, but it won't last. A good mattress is really about what you can't see. That's why at Jordan's and nowhere else, we'll not only tell you, we'll show you what's inside every mattress we carry, so you can touch it and feel it. It's important to us, and it should be important to you. At Jordan's, there are no secrets.
Hey, son. Can I borrow your car?
Again? How long?
Not long.
You're not gonna do anything stupid, are you? Oh. And have it home by 10. 10? Okay, midnight.
The Mercedes-Benz CLA. Available at Herb Chambers for an affordable $30,895.
CBS Tonight. This episode of Hawaii has it all.
Yeah, it's like your first time on a roller coaster.
Jorge Garcia, Melanie Griffith, Tom Berenger.
Goodbye, Hug.
That's it, buddy. New Hawaii 5-0. Then.
Somebody help us! What we know. The knockout game is news.
They post it on the web, so it's a social media phenomenon.
This brutality gives street crime a bad name.
New Moonlights after Hawaii 5-0. CBS Tonight.
Well, MBTA riders, they didn't waste any time. They were springing into action to save a bus driver who had a seizure behind the wheel.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive, and it's all caught on surveillance video. You can see the bus moving down the road. Then, on the top left of your screen, the driver slides to the side of his seat. One passenger quickly realizes what's happening, grabs the wheel, putting on the brakes. Another passenger then calls 911.
To me, it almost seemed like natural reaction. I went up there and I did what I had to do. Didn't really think about it. I knew the guy was in trouble. And
well, the driver was treated and said to be doing actually pretty well right now.
It's not just security that's changing this year for the Boston Marathon. Here's what will happen at the start line in Hopkinton. There will be 4 waves to accommodate the 36,000 runners. The mobility impaired group will take off just before 9 in the morning. The wheelchair division hits the start line at 9:17, followed by the hand cycles 5 minutes later. Next up will be the elite women at 9:32, followed by the elite men and the first wave at 10 a.m. Wave 2 is at 10:25, wave 3 at 11, and the 4th wave will start at 11:25. Keep in mind, this also means that roads along the course are going to be closed longer than normal. WBZ, proud to be your home for the Boston Marathon. You will be able to see full coverage of the race in HD right here, April 21st.
I got some pretty pictures coming your way. A breathtaking photo of a bald eagle in Salem. Richard Gerard spotted the eagle in the Green Lawn Cemetery yesterday morning. He says this is a popular spot with a lot of kinds of birds. Last year he saw a Cooper's hawk raising its young right there.
Just got some new information on our breaking news out of Hingham. A commuter ferry boat stuck on a sandbar. These are live pictures now. The ferry here you see is going to be taken off the sandbar by a tugboat, but the tugboat operator now tells us they're waiting for high tide. This is a ferry that was leaving Hingham for Boston. It had 9 passengers on board. State police boat removed the passengers, brought them all to shore. Coast Guard says, yep, it was high winds out there and low tide that are to blame for this ferry stuck again on a sandbar.
Well, seas look pretty calm, so things could be a lot tougher there. So.
Right, and they're in Hingham.
They're in Hingham right now enjoying a good cup of coffee. We'll be back in a minute.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Harlem Globetrotters. Playing at TD Garden on Saturday, March 29th and Sunday, March 30th. Purchase tickets at the box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
American-owned, family-operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
What makes Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets a smarter way to shop for furniture? Come see for yourself. We've got the biggest selection of brand name furniture around. American made, traditional, contemporary. With over 200,000 square feet of quality furniture and decorating ideas, we've got your style. And more than 250 brand names at outlet prices. 4 outlets, 1 destination. In the furniture capital of New England. Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets. A smarter way to shop for furniture.
Hey, hey, baby, you're the one that I love. Hey, hey, baby, you're the one that I'm always thinking of. I'm always thinking.
Introducing the all-new 2014 Subaru XV Crosstrek Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient all-wheel drive hybrid crossover in America. Well equipped for only $25,995.
Romance blossoms at the Boston Flower and Garden Show, March 12th through the 16th at the Seaport World Trade Center. Stroll among alluring landscapes and unique floral displays. Learn the latest trends, meet master gardeners, and more. Buy tickets at bostonflowershow.com.
Report a claim. Pay your bill. Safety's mobile app is just one more way we help you manage life's storms. For auto, home, and business, ask your independent agent about safety insurance.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen. Radar, forever providing safer journeys. The Mazda 6 uses radar in its available class-exclusive suite of 7 safety features for greater confidence behind the wheel. Introducing the Mazda 6. What do you drive? Now, lease the 2014 Mazda 6 Sport for $199 a month for 36 months.
Imagine finding the furniture you love at low sale prices. Now imagine upgrading to your choice of fabric at no extra charge. It's all possible at the Boston Interiors Custom Upholstery Sale. All our upholstery is made in the USA from quality materials you can trust to last. And this month only, it's all on sale. All chairs, sofas, sleepers, and sectionals. Plus, custom order any available fabric at the same price as stock. Come in soon and save. Sale ends March 31st.
In a crowd of light beers, how long does it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
Let's go back out to the flower show. Eric, best thing you saw there today?
Best thing I saw, you know what? It's the smell. It's the smell sense in here. The blooms are so aromatic, and it just feels like it's alive again. I'm not leaving until it's 70 degrees outside, so I'll see you guys in April. I'm not walking out of this building.
All right, we'll just have the camera installed right there.
As for me, I'm merely looking for a crocus. Just one crocus to give me hope.
And a day of 50 degrees, maybe?
We'll see you at 11 o'clock tonight.